Saturday, August 1st, and the weekend everyone's been watching is here. I'm Truman Vale. This is Sentinel's RV/GCR Daily Brief for Saturday. The 72-hour notification window closed yesterday with nothing landing. Iraq's August 1st banking window opened today, and the exchange claims that targeted this exact weekend are now live. Here's where it actually stands. Yesterday, we were watching bond paymasters supposedly headed to Reno, redemption centers preparing for a Saturday start, and notifications expected by end-of-day Friday. None of that materialized. No appointment emails, no 800 numbers, no rate changes on any public screens. The Friday timeline came and went. But here's what's new this morning, and it's worth your attention. The chatter says exchanges started overnight and are happening right now. Multiple voices are claiming banks opened early, people with existing relationships got called in, and actual exchanges occurred at rates in the high fives with interest options attached. Separately, the claim is 800 numbers drop sometime this weekend, either today or tomorrow, and Monday morning everyone goes to the bank. That's the current story, it's specific, and it's targeting the next 48 hours. At the same time, Iraq's banking window, the August 1st to 5th operational readiness period people have been tracking, technically opens today. And Iraq's central bank restructure hit day 3 this morning, still in effect, still holding. So you've got private side exchange claims saying it's happening now, and you've got Iraq's public signals saying the preparation window just opened. Those two threads don't quite line up on timing, but they're both live, and we're going to walk through all of it. Let's start with the dee-nar, because that's where the most specific and the most aggressive claims landed overnight. One widely followed voice put out a detailed call yesterday afternoon. The RV went through the system completely Thursday night or early Friday morning. Bankers are actively paying out and have people scheduled. And by Monday morning, everyone should be going to the bank to exchange. The same voice says people who exchanged dinars Monday got full access to their money Thursday. People who exchanged Tuesday got access Friday. Banks will pay out this morning to account holders, and at least one banker has 50 people scheduled for appointments. The claim includes specific rates, exchanges at 598, 596, 584 with a 4 times multiplier, and interest rate options ranging from 10 to 50% per month, or yearly options including rates over 30%. The voice also says 800 numbers should be released within 72 hours, meaning sometime between now and Monday, with all currencies included when people exchange. That's an enormous claim, it's extremely specific, and it describes exchanges as already happening, not coming happening. If it's true, it's the biggest thing that's ever happened in this space. If it's not, it's one of the most detailed misses we've tracked. So let's be very clear about what we can and can't verify. We cannot verify that exchanges happened overnight. We cannot verify that anyone received full access to funds this week. We cannot verify rates in the high fives, and we cannot verify interest options at the percentages being claimed. What we can verify is that this claim exists, it's circulating widely, it's targeting this exact weekend, and people are hearing it and making decisions based on it. So we're reporting it exactly as what it is, a claim making the rounds unconfirmed. The same voice says to get ready for a weekend celebration and scheduled a call for last night to provide more details. We'll know by tomorrow morning whether any of that panned out, because if exchanges actually happened overnight, the evidence would start surfacing today, screenshots, bank confirmations, people posting that they actually went in and walked out with access to funds. Until we see that, this stays in the rumor column. A separate voice says the dinar revaluation is done and expresses hope it happens this weekend. Another says exchanges could start today, Saturday, August 1st, with redemption centers open through the weekend and continuing for 21 days or 3 weeks. Another claims notifications and exchanges could start as soon as Friday or Saturday, with the weekend being the likely starting point. And yet another says we should know something by Monday. So the timing consensus is this weekend or early next week at the latest. Now set all of that aside for a second and look at what Iraq is actually doing, because this matters. Iraq's banking window, the August 1st to 5th period, one source described as operational readiness for the currency redenomination, opens today. Iraq's central bank restructure, which landed on schedule Wednesday, is now in day 3 and holding. Iraq's small denomination bills are still missing from circulation, and Iraq's own financial advisors have gone public talking about the 2011 redenomination plan that swaps large notes for small ones and adjusts the rate. One claim says Iraqi banks are signaling readiness in the window from last night through August 5th, meaning the redenomination happens sometime in that span. Another says if Iraq's prime minister keeps the current pace, the revaluation lands before month-end, which was yesterday, and didn't happen, but the argument still stands that Iraq is moving at speed. Here's the piece I keep coming back to. One voice yesterday suggested today might be ideal timing for Iraq to move, because it's a holy day and the banks are closed, which gives them a clean operational window to make the switch without disrupting daily commerce. That's not intel, that's logic, but it fits. And separately, word going around says Rafidian Bank, one of Iraq's two major state banks, had staff working on a holy day weekend, which would be unusual unless something significant was happening. Another thread worth noting, one detailed claim says teams were told to look for education on the new notes by the end of July, and that they're seeing exactly that in the information flow right now. If Iraq is actively educating the public on what's coming, that would be the final step before the actual rollout. We can't independently verify the scale of that educational push, but it fits the sequence. So here's where we are on the dee-nar. You've got aggressive private-side claims saying exchanges happened overnight and 800 numbers dropped this weekend, and you've got Iraq's public signals saying the preparation window just opened today and runs through Tuesday. Those don't line up perfectly on timing. One says it's done, the other says it's starting, but they're both pointing at the same general window, and that window is right now. The dong got one brief mention overnight, and it's the same thread we've been tracking. The dinar and the dong hit a rate apex 4 to 6 weeks after the initial move, then settle over 3 months. Vietnam waits on Iraq to move first, then follows the same path. No new claims, no rate changes, just the same waiting on Iraq story. The Zimbabwe bonds are still all over the Redemption Center chatter, and the claims targeting today are nearly identical to the ones that missed yesterday, just rolled forward 24 hours. Bond paymasters were supposedly headed to Reno yesterday. The new claim is they're there now or arriving today. Redemption centers were supposed to start Thursday. The new claim is they start today, Saturday, on a 21-day schedule running through August 20th or 21st. One voice says banks might not be ready until the 20th or 21st, but redemption centers are prepared to go as early as yesterday, July 30th, and exchanges could happen anytime in that span. And here's where I'm going to be the friend who's been exactly where you are right now. If you're holding Zim, you've been hearing this weekend for longer than you can count, and you've probably got your phone next to you right now waiting for an email or a text with an appointment time. I've done that. I've had my hopes up for this exact thing more times than I want to admit. So I'm not going to tell you it's definitely not happening, because honestly I don't know, and the volume and specificity of the claims this time are higher than usual. But I am going to tell you this: if it doesn't happen today, that doesn't mean the story's dead. It means the timing slipped again, which is what the timing does in this space. Don't let yourself get so high on any single date that you're crushed if it doesn't land. We'll know by tomorrow morning whether redemption centers actually opened, and if they did, the evidence will be everywhere. If they didn't, we'll cover that too, and we'll tell you what people are hearing next. Let me step back and give you the whole picture, because this weekend actually matters, and here's why. Iraq's central bank restructure landed on schedule this week, and it's still in effect. That's a real institutional step, and it's the kind of foundation that has to be in place before a currency can move internationally. Iraq's banking window opens today and runs through Tuesday. Iraq's small bills are gone, their advisors are talking publicly about redenomination, and US banks are reportedly upgrading systems to handle the dinar and the dong. If you line all of that up, the public story says Iraq is in final preparation and something happens in the next few days. Parallel to that, you've got this entire private layer, Tier 4B, 800 numbers, redemption centers, bond exchanges, claiming it's happening right now this morning, and the proof will surface over the weekend. I've seen this pattern before. Big claims target a specific date, the date arrives, and we spend the day checking whether anything actually moved. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it doesn't, and the claims roll forward. But here's the thing I want you to see, and it's the reason we do this show every single day. Every one of these claims, every thread, every update, most people are chasing it across 10 different channels, trying to piece it together in real time, and by the time they've caught up, the story's already moved. If you'd had the app, you already knew all of this the second it dropped. GCR Sentinel pushes it straight to your phone the moment it lands, the overnight claims, the Iraq banking window, the redemption center updates, all of it. You didn't have to wait for me to tell you this morning. You could have been tracking it live last night as it happened. It's a free download, GCR Sentinel on the App Store, or gcrsentinel.com if you're on Android while we wait for Google Play, and VIP membership is free right now, which gets you the VIP level alerts the power users are watching. If you've been thinking about it, this weekend is exactly why it exists. Grab it while it's free, and you'll never be behind the curve again. Now let's talk about what to actually watch for today and tomorrow, because if any of this is real, the evidence shows up in the next 48 hours. First, do 800 numbers actually drop today or tomorrow? If they do, you'll know they'll be everywhere, people will post them and we'll see it. Second, do any verifiable exchanges happen? Not "I heard someone exchanged," but actual evidence, screenshots, bank confirmations, people posting they went in and walked out with funds. Third, does Iraq do or say anything else this weekend around the August 1st to 5th window? Any public statements, any new guidance, any rate movement? Fourth, do redemption centers actually open today? If they do, we'll start hearing about it by this afternoon. And fifth, the simplest test of all, do your rate screens change? Because that's the only thing that actually moves the needle. Everything else is noise until the rate moves. A couple other pieces made the rounds overnight. The Clarity Act, the crypto regulatory framework, could hit the Senate floor next week, with one claim saying 10 Democrat senators have agreed to pass it as early as Monday. Separately, there's chatter about a memorandum of understanding with Iran getting signed yesterday, which would clear another regional stability hurdle for Iraq. And one voice is saying Federal Reserve Chairman Powell will cut rates at the September 15th to 16th meeting and again in October, which fits the broader timeline of financial reset happening this fall. All of that is part of the larger picture, but none of it is the headline today. The headline is, "This is the weekend people have been circling, the claims are live, and we're about to find out whether any of it actually happened." One last thing, and this is the perspective piece we do once a week, so here it is. We've been hearing any day this weekend, within 72 hours for a long time. The calls keep coming, the dates keep moving, and most of them don't land. That's just the reality of this space, and everybody in this community knows it by now. So when I tell you exchanges are being claimed for this morning, I'm not telling you to believe it, I'm telling you it's out there. Here's exactly what's being said, and here's how we'll know if it's real. We track it, we report it, we hold it all loosely, and we never act or spend because of it. If it's real, it'll still be real tomorrow, and we'll cover it. If it's not, we'll cover that too, and we'll tell you what people are hearing next. That's the job. Stay informed, stay hopeful, don't get swept away by any single breathless claim, and let the evidence do the talking. I'll see you tomorrow morning Sunday. We don't take weekends off. This show runs 7 days a week, and there's a full episode tomorrow just like today. The intel doesn't stop for the weekend, and neither do we. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss a morning. And if you know someone who's still piecing this together the hard way, 10 tabs, 5 channels, refreshing all day, send them our way. That's exactly who we built this for. Stay hopeful, stay grounded, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.